One of the biggest issues that I've heard from survival gaming players out there about RuneScape Dragonwilds is the lack of consistent updates or new content being added into the game. Well, all of that actually is going to be changing here in 2026, as we've got some major news related to their update schedule. The Dragonwilds team just dropped their official 2026 roadmap, and more importantly, they laid out the expectations. Not just what's coming, but how updates are structured, how often content lands, and what major versus minor updates really mean going forward into 2026. Before we dive into the full roadmap, there's a couple of things to understand, and that is basically there are two different types of updates that we're going to see here for 2026. The first one being major updates. The major updates are going to be introducing new regions, new factions, new skills, new mechanics, you name it. These are going to be the big quarterly updates that we will get. Basically, 4 of them is what they're aiming for here for 2026. And the second mechanic brings us to minor updates. These are going to drop in between the quarterly updates. Basically, they're going to try to aim for at least once a month, putting out a big minor update. These are going to be things like introducing new side quests, activities, exploration rewards, and then just fine-tuning and tweaking the current content that is in the game at the time of that minor update. Now, diving into Q1 of 2026 here for January and February, they're going to basically be continuing here on to Fell Hollow. Fell Hollow did drop in, December of 15th of 2025, but they're going to be carrying over some additional minor updates here for January and February, leading us up to March here for the start of Q2. But nevertheless, don't let it fool you here. These minor updates will be introducing some new content, a new side story quest line, and 4 new activities. We're not exactly sure what activities have or will be coming here to the game, but just know that these 2 will basically be the brunt of what we'll receive and see here for January and February of RuneScape Dragonwilds. So now moving right along here to Q2, basically March of 2026, this is going to be the very first major update that we can expect here for RuneScape Dragonwilds, all right? This is going to be introducing Dowdun Reach, the madness of Zamorak, if that's how you say that or pronounce that. Anyways, here, it's going to be introducing our very first new region here for 2026. We have the Mithril tier going to be launching with that. We will have the fishing skill also coming, and alongside that, we'll also be getting the official dedicated servers that have been promised for quite some time. And this is going to be huge because not only is everybody waiting for the new region, the Mithril, and the fishing skill, right? I mean, I am very excited for the fishing skill, but outside of those things, I think a lot of players are actually looking forward to the dedicated server options. Not only are they looking forward to having the ability to play on a dedicated server, but a lot of players are actually looking forward to private server communities, hosting different things, being able to change and tweak the settings on a server, and last but not least, well, what exactly, are our hosting options? Will it be things like Nitrado that we've had, bogging down Ark Survival Ascended for quite some time now, or will it be other, server providers that we can kind of pick and choose, freely at our will to the one that we actually fancy? Shout out to Bisect Hosting. Of course, following the major update, we'll also receive 2 additional minor updates coming in April and May. Again, all these will be focused around additional activities that players can partake in on their free time or, just to pass time, and then also additional quest lines that will be released for players to, explore and discover, and potentially even some new exploration rewards. You name it here. There's going to be a lot of different tweaks and quality of life stuff I can expect to see dropped in between these major updates. And then that brings us to Q3 here for 2026, basically starting off in June. All right, we can expect the Umbral Sands major update to drop. All right, this is basically to be the Umbral Sands, the Fire of Fusan, if that's again how you pronounce that. Basically version 0.12. This of course will be bringing the new region, the Umbral Sands. It's going to be bringing the adamant tier gear, so we not only will have steel from Fell Hollow, Mithril, but now adamant tier. And last but not least here, we're going to be getting the prayer skill, along with, like I mentioned here, in July and August, we'll also be following up the update with 2 minor updates, again focused on some more exploration stuff, some additional side quests, some additional activities for us to partake in. You name it here. A lot of these minor things, I know they sound like they're being swept underneath the rug, but do not sleep on these minor updates. If anything, the very first year here for early access of RuneScape Dragonwilds has taught us that alone. And last but certainly not least, brings us to Q4 of 2026, which is going to be the Scorned Wilderness, basically the Rage of Cauldra version 0.12. Season 3 of Early Access. It's going to naturally be introducing a new region, which is the Scorned Wilderness. It's going to be introducing Runite gear tiers and also the agility skill. Again, alongside this update, this major update, we are going to be getting some additional minor updates for the following months after that, leading up into 2027, just like we have here for Fell Hollow. And speaking on 2027, they actually did a little teaser here for Shadows of Ashenfall, which I would expect based on this roadmap, if they keep the same structure here for 2027, will basically mean that that's what we could expect to see in Q2 of 2027. But again, no additional details on that as of yet, but in general here, I think this roadmap is beautiful. I love the structure and everything they have set up here for 2026. I think the quarterly expansions are going to keep players engaged and keep the game evolving way better than the first year of early access did here for RuneScape Dragonwilds. The monthly updates are going to be keeping players on their toes and reasons to kind of, be playing in between the major updates to make sure that they are clearing all the additional side quests, getting the exploration, loot and bonuses. And lastly here, I think it just does a really good job of setting the expectations of what players can expect here from RuneScape Dragonwilds and basically what the developers can and feel like they have the ability to actually work on and put out for 2026. With that being said, survivors, as always, I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you still playing RuneScape Dragonwilds? And if you haven't played RuneScape Dragonwilds, do you think this roadmap here set out for 2026 with quarterly major updates with minor updates in between will be enough to keep you around here long term for the game? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, if you found this video helpful or valuable, or you just want to help simply support me, please subscribe here on the channel for more RuneScape Dragonwilds and survival gaming content in general. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next one.